we are in the presence of a celebrity right now. This is
We are.
She did the Super Bowl commercial with Bill Murray and G.
That's it right there.
This is it. This is the one that started it all.
You planned that.
No, I didn't, but yeah, that's cool.
Could we be in line for something funny to come out of the mouth?
Just might happen.
What a little key.
She's the best.
Everyone deserves to feel their best. Everyone deserves to move their best and not have pain.
I'm a little upset that Ben got like 2 inches taller because he's already tall, dark, and handsome enough.
Culture is something we think about like all the time at Streakies. You know, we're all coming from different cultures.
Our comments have exploded through the roof. So there you go.
All right. Well, I am flying solo this week with you on Lancaster Connects. It is officially summer. Actually, this week going to be officially summer, I guess, on the 21st, which all this technology we have, I still refer to my paper calendar. Looks like the 21st is the first day of summer, although it doesn't say that on here. But I'm going to go with it. It's going to feel like the first day of summer. We got a hot one coming at us this week. So please stay cool out there. Watch your pets. All right. Check in on loved ones, especially if they're a little older. All right. Make sure they're doing all right. Make sure you drink plenty of water because it'll be a hot one this week here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I'm Jeff Giannakovo, co-owner of Gardener's Mattress and More, where we're broadcasting Lancaster Connects from each and every week. The show about Lancaster for Lancaster. We like to shine light on great people, great charities doing great things for our community. And we have an incredible guest this week from GiGi's Playhouse joining us. So I'm flying solo because Ben, my partner in crime here, or partner in sleep sounds better. Ben is on vacation this week. He's up in the north. Smart man. Took his family up north. They're doing some hiking in Maine and Portland and New Hampshire, I think I saw. So they're doing that whole northeast segment and taking in Acadia, all the cool things that our great nation has to offer up there in the northeast part. So he was smart. He's up there in the cool part of the states this week. At least I think that's my assumption, that it's the cool part. So we're here, and it's another great show. So without too much further ado, because I don't have my partner in sleep and partner in jokes here to kind of banter back and forth, we're just going to jump right in with our guest, Alisha Fitzwater. And she's here with, hi, Alisha. Thank you for being here today.
Hi, thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So you are here with GiGi's Playhouse. And, I said in our show before we went live, I love having you and what you support. You're a volunteer. You'll tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do outside your volunteerism there with GiGi's. But I love your kind of people because they're the ones that I feel, when we came up with this idea for Lancaster Connects, was the ones we most wanted to serve. Folks that, through no fault of their own, no choice of their own, your participants have Down syndrome at GiGi's Playhouse. And so they are given a hand in life that they play, and you're there to help them excel. And so I'll turn it over to you with the great stuff you do at GiGi's Playhouse. Just kind of give us a broad overview, and then we'll drop down into the conversation.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for that introduction. So yes, I'm Alisha Fitzwater. I'm the programs coordinator at GiGi's Playhouse in Lancaster. And so GiGi's Playhouse in Lancaster is actually part of a network of Down syndrome achievement centers across the US. There's 59 of them, and actually 2 in Mexico. So we are and still are the first and only one in Pennsylvania. We opened here in Lancaster 4.5 years ago. So January of 2020. We were excited to open. And what we do here, we just offer free purposeful programming to those of Down syndrome of all ages. So babies through adults and their families. And what we do is, it's just really exciting. So when we first opened, we actually opened in January 2020. Like I said, we were open for about 2 months. And then, of course, everyone shut down in the world. Along with everyone else, just 2 months into opening. But luckily, we had an outside space, which actually we were able to do some programming outside, which was really cool, get our families together. And then over the last 4 years, we have just had awesome progress of getting our families together. And we've seen like a 4 times growth in everything. So we started with about 100 families that were kind of interested in what we did. And now we're growing over 400 families that called GiGi's Playhouse like a second home to them. And they're just coming weekly for purposeful programming. So tutoring in reading and math. We do dance, we do music, we do GiGi Fit, which is our fitness. So all kinds of fun stuff that is happening here at GiGi's.
Yeah, love it. You know, I've seen firsthand what the kind of participation, and I want to get into the wording of, because I asked, you know, what do you call your students, your kids, your folks that come and work with you at your center? I want to get into why some of those words matter, especially for them, right? Because I think what we hear repeatedly can be a determining factor in our success in life. So we'll talk about that. But I know firsthand, and our producer, Chris, wonderful producer, Chris at Cast Ahead, who makes us all look good, has had Ari Galper on. Ari is somebody that spent time with our company leading sales training. His son, Toby, has Down syndrome. I have another friend of mine, Brian, in my network. His son, oh, it just went right off the top of my head. I want to say Chase. I bring both of them up because they're both families and parents who rose to the challenge, I suppose I would say. And both of their boys are excelling, and not everybody has, you know, the freedom like they had as business owners to kind of peel back as parents and really, you know, have business and income run well. They can also support their child. And I guess that's kind of what GiGi's does for folks, is it gives this outlet and this opportunity for participants to come and supplement, you know, what they might get in school, which you're intimately aware of and close to, and what they get at home and what they get from their friends and family. So let's talk about that. So your participants are infants to adults. You said as high as age 60, right? And how does GiGi support the families? And you said you're up to 400. So let's get into kinds of programs and things that you do.
Yeah, so we start as soon as a family may get a prenatal diagnosis and find out at the doctor or the hospital that they're having a baby with Down syndrome. So they can be referred to us right away. And if they're ready to have those conversations or meet someone, they can come in for a tour. They can talk to another mom. But often this is a really difficult time for those families because it just is a lot of unknown. Maybe they're not sure how to handle the diagnosis, or they don't know what medical complications come along with it, or they just have had no experience and they're scared, and that's okay. We're kind of here for them when they're ready. So sometimes we get those families before the child's born, or we have a way of outreaching to the hospitals. So when a baby is born, across all the hospitals in Lancaster County and even, you know, Berks County and Dauphin County, we have welcome bags for the parents. So that they can hear about us. And we start programs as soon as they're born. So our littlest one is for, it's called LMNOP, Language, Music, and Our Peeps. So our little babies up to about 3-year-olds, they can come in and we sit in a circle on the floor. They sit on their parents' laps and we just do songs and we work on their speech and learning sign language and just modeling ways that the entire family, so siblings as well, are included in this. How everyone's involved, how everybody can make a difference and all work together just to teach the child and just to grow up knowing that this is a safe place for them. So we start that little, even with GiGi Fit Infant, we work on those motor skills. So things don't come as easily to those with Down syndrome. They have low muscle tone. So things take a lot longer for them to learn. So yeah, our GiGi Fit programs start with infants and they work on those tiniest of skills, like just reaching, turning their head, rolling over, sitting up, crawling. Yeah. And so we have these programs that then progress through our toddlers, preschoolers, kids, teens, and adults. And we just build on them. And we've just been working, on squats and planks, and they just challenge each other just to do a little better than they did the time before. And we just increase the whole way up through our adults. And we offer preschool programs and kid programs and a lot of social programs for those in between. And we also, it's just so important to keep them moving and keep them active. So into adulthood, our adults are one of our biggest age groups that we serve. A lot of adults in their 20s, 30s, even 40s. And we just keep them active, moving, give them a purpose to come work out with us every week. And something that's really cool, we share best of all stories. And that just means something that a participant did really awesome. It was a little better than they did before.
Yeah.
So we've been doing these ball exercises in our new gym. And one participant has just gotten more stronger, more flexible, more confident with these ball exercises. And many of our participants exercise with a smile on their face, which is really awesome. The whole time they're just smiling and trying their hardest. So we love that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. One of the things that we talk about here often on the show, Alisha, so I'll just put it out here right now early and we'll repeat it a couple times, is how people support a program and a place like GiGi's Playhouse. So I'm sure we talk about time, talent, and treasure, right? So donations always open. You're always ready to take donations. But the talents, as you're talking about the GiGi Fit program, is there an opportunity for like licensed physical trainers to come in and offer some of their time to help with your participants?
Yeah. So like you said, we're always looking for that talent. So we have a lot of, hands-on with participants if you have experience or if you don't. So if you are trained and you're some kind of therapist or maybe a retired teacher or even just students that want to go to school to learn about working with people with special needs or Down syndrome, there's something to volunteer really for everyone. You can even volunteer as a whole family, which is really awesome opportunity. So many different opportunities to volunteer with teens
Yeah,
or
we have it up on the
babies.
screen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
all are well organized over there. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah. So we have lots of, tutoring opportunities, those firsthand experiences. But a lot of times what we're noticing that people miss out on is knowing that volunteers can also help behind the scenes. And we do need a lot of volunteers to help us with our committees, to help us plan fundraisers, to help with marketing. So even if you aren't good or necessarily working directly with participants, you could help us on the back end too, raising those funds or helping plan events, being on these committees, going to outreach events. We're always looking for those kind of expertise and talent, like you said, that people might not look to a Down Syndrome Achievement Center, but they have those skills.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're graphically inclined, so you have graphic design
Yes.
skill,
Mhm.
organizational skills, you have a tremendous network, and you could say, wow, I know this company's always looking to put money into action in our community. And by this show, GiGi's is brand new on your radar, which I would love to hear. And you can make that connection of, a company donating money or grant writing, just anything like that. Please get to their website and check out volunteer opportunities, which we had on screen. I want to kind of maybe, I think what's interesting about our time, our age group, Alisha, I'm not going to assume your age, but I feel we're in that same generation.
Yeah.
Gen X, are you Gen X?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's interesting about our generation is we're seeing, when we were school age and younger, children with Down syndrome really didn't have things like GiGi's Playhouse, at least not that I saw.
No.
And now we're seeing all these heartwarming, great things. You see it on Reels and on YouTube. Kids go to prom. I saw a young man, he wanted to be an MMA fighter. And the world's just kind of opening up and giving these kids this participation opportunity to be a part of life and enjoy the things their brothers and sisters do and their parents do. Do you have any kind of success stories like that you can share? I don't want you to like name names unless mom and dad or the participant is happy to be so named, but let's talk about some of those success stories, because it's not just happening, across your phone to this family and this person hours and states and miles away. It's right here in your backyard. Mm-hmm. And again, the reason we do this show is to make those connections. So, you have any of those success stories we could share and talk about?
Yeah, and I just want to point out too, like GiGi's as a whole, the whole network started 20 years ago. We're celebrating 20 years that they started and originated out in Chicago because, like you're saying, there wasn't a lot for people with Down syndrome. They weren't in the public very often. And so it is really cool for the last 20 years, us being involved for the last 4 to 8 years, just to be a part of that. And I think that really, GiGi's is able to change the way the world views Down syndrome. So the way that we are just showing that people with Down syndrome are capable, they're able to hold jobs, they're able to run 5Ks, they're able to succeed in school, they can read, just kind of showing, they can ask people to prom, they can go to prom. Just showing that and putting it in the spotlight is just really cool. I think that we really are changing the way the world views Down syndrome. So nationally, and then as well right here in Lancaster County specifically. So yeah, and we do this through a lot of like our fundraising events. Like you see like our GiGi Fit Acceptance Challenge at the Clipper Magazine Stadium where we have the 5K, the benefit ride that we do. So we're just able to see firsthand these stories that you're mentioning. So one of our participants that's been with us just over the last 4 years, he had a goal to go to college and to live on campus. And we're just
Fantastic.
so proud of him because he did it. He got a scholarship from Ruby's Rainbow and some others. And he just finishes his first year at Millersville living on campus. So we're able to celebrate with him and his family. And those kind of things are just so cool and just show, this next generation that people with Down syndrome are so capable.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's just really exciting. And just the babies too. So early intervention is just kind of a new concept in itself too, just intervening as soon as you find out and doing something. So a lot of our adults never even had early intervention. They maybe waited till school to start getting help. And what we've seen is the earlier you start, the more our people are learning and just becoming stronger and more confident. So even just like one of the babies, we just see them reaching some of their purposeful progressions, we say, just quicker. And it's really exciting because we celebrate each of those things along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the little bit, well, there's another little young one smiling, and
Yes.
you got a poster over your shoulder with a little baby smiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget how my friend Ari expressed this to me about his son, but he said in general, the communication language of folks with Down syndrome is love. It's a smile on their face.
Mm-hmm.
It's connection. It's touch. It's a hug.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're watching and you're listening and you've been grumpy all day and you are fully able and capable as an adult or a person, and you haven't smiled today, be like one of these kids, be like one of these folks who they know it's in their heart to be good people and love on people, and they can do it. So you ought to too. And they're working maybe a step behind you. And then other days, because they're happy, they're like 10 steps ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, we often hear our volunteers say that they volunteer obviously because they want to make a difference, but honestly, coming to volunteer at GiGi's really makes a difference on their life as well. So, they're able to maybe leave their troubles at the door, and when they're with these little faces and these participants, and they see the progress they're making, and you celebrate with that, you just kind of forget your own problems, and you just kind of live in that moment with them, and you can celebrate and just cheer them on, just at everything they're learning and doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So the programming you offer, you're working with 400 families. First of all, can you take more people in if this is brand new to somebody listening who has a child or a niece or a nephew with Down syndrome? Can you take more people right now?
Yes, we can. We are ready to have new families. So if you're listening and you know someone with Down syndrome of any age, feel free to share with them. They can come out for a tour if you're nervous to come to a program for the first time. And right now you're seeing our new Playhouse. So just under 2 months ago, we just opened our new Playhouse. It's
Oh, awesome.
3 times the size of our old one. You see all the color inside. We just wanted to be welcoming and inviting for the families, just to know that the families are not alone, and that the participants, honestly, they just love coming. And it's kind of like a second home to them. We've got the rock wall to climb on, we've got the gym for them to work on their fitness. We have the tutoring rooms. And definitely, if you want to come see the Playhouse, come take a tour. You can join at any time. There's programs happening. Every week we have fitness programs and tutoring and all kinds of things for all ages that you can join in with us about.
Love it. Love it.
Yes.
And what's the cost for families to come and participate?
Yeah, so everything is free. We never want cost to be a barrier to achievement, is what we say. So it's not free for us to run. So we look for grants and do
Right.
fundraisers, but families can come in and not pay anything. It doesn't go through your insurance. You're welcome just to drop in and try a program or come for a tour and come check it out.
That's
There's
so cool.
There's some tutoring. Yep. And what's cool about Gigi's is we're just learning things that are so important, learning how to count, how to read, how to cook, how to dance, how to walk, how to talk. All these foundational skills that maybe you and I take for granted that we just learn. But they often need repeated practice and repetition, or taught how to do them explicitly until they learn them. So it just takes them a little longer, but usually they get there and we're with them every step of the way.
Yeah. So you are your day job, you're volunteer program coordinator there at GiGi's, but your day job is a special education teacher for the Lancaster County IU. So how do you, from your view, because you're right in it, how do you view what GiGi's does? Is it something that I guess it wouldn't take over regular education? It's supplemental. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. It's really, we say GiGi's is not school. Like we're not following IEPs and things. It's just extra. That's why we say, tutoring, or it's on top of what they already do. So they can come to a dance class and, there's no expectation that they have to meet certain goals. We just really, like I said, that best of all, we try for them just to do a little bit better than the week they did before. And it's really all about positivity when you're at GiGi's. So we try not to focus on things maybe that are hard for them, but we try to focus on what they can do or what they did that day or what they accomplished. So it really is different than school. And it's oftentimes where they can just work on achievement, like in our title, just achieving different kinds of skills. And also for social interactions, definitely. It's a place that the parents often say, they don't feel judged when they're here, or they feel like they can be themselves when they walk in the door. They don't have to hide maybe who their child is or what they did that wasn't positive. Because we're all kind of in this together and the parents really understand one another. So it's really a place for the parents as well. They can talk to one another and realize they're going through the same things. And maybe it's normal, it's okay, or they can be there and offer ways to support.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of the parental community that you're fostering and creating there. Yeah, because where else would you go? I suppose there's forums, there's probably Facebook groups, like there's Facebook groups for everything and anything out there. I'm sure there's national Down syndrome associations and things like that, but there's nothing like having someone who could very well be your neighbor be there with you. That's powerful.
It is powerful. Just seeing the parents connect with one another, and even from different age groups. So it's awesome to see the parent of an adult with Down syndrome connect with a mom who's just had a baby with Down syndrome. Just to put them together and just for them to offer some hope. It's going to be okay. They can say, look at my child. Like, you might be worried he'll never walk, but look, he can walk. Now he runs, he climbs, just to kind of offer, like, I've been there, I've been in your shoes. And yes, it's hard. It can be hard at times, but, we're kind of along on the journey with them. The other families and the volunteers, we're all very supportive, and we're going to walk that path with them. So it's not as difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right there on Oregon Pike, right? 2501 Oregon Pike. That's where the Playhouse is.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Newly expanded Playhouse, which looks great. I mean,
Thank
honestly,
you.
to me, it looks like what most K through like second, third grade classrooms should look like nowadays. But we won't get into that. But I love what you have for your folks there, for your kids
Yes.
and
Yeah.
participants.
And one thing that we haven't really talked about is our teens and adults actually have their own whole room in our new Playhouse that is specifically for them, Club G, as you see right there. They're the only ones allowed, just teens and adults. And it
Okay.
is set up just to be like a game room, like a club for them. They do karaoke on the stage, they can play games. It's
Nice.
just for them to hang out, meet up, and be with one another, not being around, the children's toys or things. So it's very age appropriate, and we can challenge them to make friends with each other in there. So that's a
Sure.
really awesome part of our new Playhouse.
Do you ever, I have a few questions, so we're going to kind of bounce around if that's okay.
Of course.
Do you ever have any of the adults or teens want to like lead the younger kids classes and participate and be a leader, someone those kids can look up to?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what we're all about, is that as our adults are learning how to advocate for themselves and how to do things independently, that they can and become, a self advocate is what we say at the Playhouse. So we have our self advocates, those adults with Down syndrome. They may hold doors open and greet families as they walk in. They may help me on stage leading the LMNOP program. We often have them on stage helping with the fitness programs, just to model the exercises alongside the instructor, kind of training them. And then we also have them just helping out with kind of some volunteer tasks around the Playhouse as well. So we're teaching them how to make our informational folders that we hand out at events. Our adults with Down syndrome are the ones standing at our outreach event tables, and they're there to tell people about what GiGi's is.
I met two young ladies at the Northern Lancaster Chamber of Commerce event. That's exactly how we met.
Yes. Yeah. We're teaching them how to give the tours at the new Playhouse so that they can take someone around the Playhouse and have ownership. This is where this is where I work out, and this is where I sing karaoke on stage, and just giving them that independence and that confidence just to lead others is really awesome.
So it almost sounds like you're giving occupational therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we say we do therapeutic based programming here at GiGi's, and everything, like I said, is very purposeful. So hopefully they are having a great time. They're having fun. They're playing, but they are learning so much through those activities that maybe they don't even realize. So everything is geared towards, working on their fine motor skills, working on their social skills or their communication skills, all while they're having fun in this environment.
Love it. Just love it. Let's go back to, so I said about how your Playhouse looks like school, and you had shared that GiGi's is not a replacement for school. It's supplemental. It's for, I forget how you exactly phrased it, but the question I want to ask is this: do you see kids, students, learners, participants going to school and getting to GiGi's? Are they excelling at a greater rate, par for the course? Like, what's their progression look like if they're getting the support at GiGi's?
Yeah. So that's one thing that we always share with our families is just consistency. So bringing your child every week or every month to the same programs at GiGi's just builds their confidence in being able to do these things. And so we did have a story from a mom. It was really cool. So she's been bringing her son all 4 years to GiGi's, and he goes on stage, he sings karaoke. He also goes on stage and helps leading GiGi Fit, things like that. So his mom was sitting at school in a meeting with his team of teachers and therapists, and they just pointed out and said, he has had significant growth this year in school. We don't know what it is, but he is so much more talkative, outgoing, social. He's communicating, and he's even becoming like a leader with his classmates. And we're just so proud of him. And his mom said to them, I know what it is. It's GiGi's. He goes to GiGi's now, and they are building into him and training him to be confident, to be a leader, to speak up, to communicate well. And so she saw that generalize into the school setting. So that's just really cool. And that's what we want. We just want to help participants in all settings, at home, in the community, at school. And this is World Down Syndrome Day. That is an exciting day that we celebrate.
And what day is World Down Syndrome Day?
So March 21st of every year, because 3, 2, 1, that's 3 copies of their 21st chromosome. And that's what we celebrate. We celebrate with silly socks, because when you look at the chromosomes, they look like silly socks, all mismatched. So you can see we just come around our loved ones with Down syndrome on that day and just celebrate them and show how capable they are. We wear our silly socks to support them. It's a whole family affair. And really trying to get the schools involved in this as well, too. So a lot of the classes and schools are participating now as well. This past year was our biggest participation in the community. It was really awesome just seeing a lot of local businesses and schools participate with us. So we would love next World Down Syndrome Day. And every year, if anybody listening wants to participate as well, just show acceptance for those with Down syndrome.
Yeah. And again, that's March 21st. And I was actually going to ask, we've been talking about Down syndrome.
Yeah.
But maybe we should have started with this, but we're a half hour in, and that's okay. That's the beauty of doing a podcast show, is we get to make our own rules. But you should also check out Lancaster Connects if you're a listener, because I'm telling you, the smiles on the faces of the participants at GiGi's and the fun that they're having, you got to see these young kids, these young adults, these adults just having a blast at GiGi's. But Down syndrome, for those that don't know exactly what it is, how it materializes within the genetic code, let's do a service to that so people do understand exactly what Down syndrome is.
Yeah, exactly. So Down syndrome occurs, at conception. It just means that the child gets 3 copies of their 21st chromosome. There's nothing really that causes it. There's no way to prevent it. And it doesn't discriminate against socioeconomic status or, anybody can have a baby with Down syndrome. And so there's certain things that, come along with that are common, like the low muscle tone. Oftentimes they'll check their heart. About half of them might need heart surgery when they're real young. So there's common things that come along with it, such as, delays in reading and math as well. And that's why we offer the tutoring. But yeah, it really could happen to anyone. Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you for sharing that, because I knew it was an extra chromosome, but I just didn't know it was the 21st.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And there's 22 pairs of 23 for 46 in total, right? And then in that 21st one, you get the extra one. I love I don't know if it's fair to call it cute, kind of feels bad to say it that way, but I love the cute tie-in of March 21st.
Yeah.
It helps us remember.
Yeah, it does. It's fun. It makes it exciting. And it's easy. Anybody can wear silly socks. So
yeah,
any age. Yeah.
I wear different dress socks all the time. All different kinds of patterns and things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So to support everything you do, again, at GiGi's, it's free programming to families with children, with young adults, with adults. So if you have that adult niece or nephew or even child that this is brand new to you, please do reach out. We have all of GiGi's contact information with the notes on this show, the postings on this show, wherever you're watching it, picking it up, and you can connect with them. But it takes a lot to put this programming on. So let's kind of talk about, as we look to wrap up our time together. You do a bunch of events to raise money. You've got a big one coming up. I guess golf's probably going to turn into one of your bigger ones, I would imagine.
Yeah. So what we do is we do kind of a core group of fundraisers each year, and they kind of happen every year. So you can plan on coming to them if you enjoy them. So like you said, the golf one, yeah, that's coming up. It's our 2nd annual one. So we'll be having that in September, on September 6th. And then we'll be having that every year. That's just a really fun day that you can make a team of 4, come out and golf for a great cause. It supports GiGi's Playhouse. We have raffles and silent auctions, things like that, putting contests, all kinds of golf contests. And then we did a really special one, which was like a Down syndrome GiGi's challenge, where we had people, the golfers, they could, if they wanted to, put on some weights, some weighted vests, weighted ankle bracelets, and they could actually try doing a putt like that. And it's really to simulate what it feels like to have low muscle tone, because it makes things harder to do. So we kind of put that on them if they wanted to, and they could try a putt and just ask them how they felt afterwards. And they just described, the golfers described, like, wow, I never knew how much work it would be just to walk up the hill with this extra weight, or the low muscle tone and the effects of that. So we added, some extra things to help simulate what it might feel like to make it unique golf tournament. But that's definitely one coming up that if anybody's interested, you could
I love
sign
that
up for.
angle. I mean, it really, I sit on a board for our county's Career and Technology Center board, and the Education Foundation, that is. And one of those things we always talk about is reminding ourselves of the mission and trying to find a mission moment whenever we gather to really remind us of what we're there for. That's what I would call what you just described. It's really a mission moment reminder. It's fun to gather. It's fun to like get a foursome with your buddies. It's cool to donate. And in no way am I denigrating any of that, but I would challenge anybody listening and watching to take it that next step further and really connect to the mission of GiGi's Playhouse and the people, because that's what they are. They're people like you and I. They just, they have that extra chromosome and really just feel. That's so cool that you can convey that feeling in that moment. That's very cool. I love that. I think that's the first we've ever had any one of our charities describe it that way, like such a connective experience.
Yeah. There is a blog written about it too, with some of the feedback from the golfers. So on our website, you can find it in the blogs about last year's golf tournament and just how it made them feel. So
I'm not volunteering myself when I say this, because I'm terrible at golf as it is, like terrible. Normally when I get on these charity things, I'm like, just, if I don't have a foursome, I say, just put me with the group that likes to drink, but not play golf. But has anybody risen to the challenge of playing all 18 holes with some ankle weights or a vest?
So we really just did it for one. That was like the GiGi's hole, like the GiGi's challenge you could do at that hole. Because it would be a lot to, it would be a lot. Yeah, that's the blog. They described it as an eye-opening experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you there's some crazy CrossFitters in Lancaster County that love golf. So the Venn diagram is CrossFit.
Yes.
So like insane challenges, golf, and then a warm heart. That's the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
So if that's who you are, you're a golfer, CrossFit, and you got a good heart, and you love a challenge, maybe you'll throw the vest on for all 18.
There you go. Yeah. And as you scrolled up, you could see how they were feeling. They just described feelings of being exhausted, definitely tiring. It makes your gait different. It's noticeable. It's frustrating, and that's things that our kiddos and our adults, they live with that. They wake up that way every single day, and they have to figure out ways to train their body to work through that. And they're tired by the end of the day. Things are harder for them than maybe they are for us.
Yeah. The gait thing, if you read that or saw it here as you're watching, and you think of somebody with Down syndrome, that probably connected right away. That was like, oh yeah, because we do see that in how people with Down syndrome do walk, how they run. One of my most special moments, I think you'll appreciate this, coaching youth football. We had a rough season. I think this year was boys, it went 7 and 8, 9 and 10. It was one of my 9 and 10-year-old years. The older brother of one of my players has Down syndrome. And I went to mom and I said, hey, can we get him on the field? on our last game at the high school stadium when both the South and the North team in our area meet for their final game of the year, and we'll run a special play. We'll clue in the other team. We'll clue in the refs, but I had to work with him, and to finish it, he ran the touchdown play. It was great. Loved
Aw.
it. Yeah, it was so special.
So cool.
It was made more special because all the other young men, I said, I want you to take from this to not wait for opportunities. Go create opportunities for others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did here by because it took a little bit of some phone calls and some work, not
Mm-hmm.
hard, but the lesson was go create opportunity for others who may not have it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. And I'll
Yeah.
remember that forever. And I still talk to their family, and actually the oldest brother and my son are now playing their high school football together. And so I still see the
Aw.
family often. But that was that lesson, was create opportunities for others. You have the ability, so go do it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because others around you may not. But yeah, I had to work with this young man on carrying the ball. We had
Mm-hmm.
to really make sure, because we didn't want to put the ball on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted, you know, everybody knew, kind of give him a little bump, give him a little shoulder, but we're not going to tackle him. But we wanted him to make sure he held that ball and ran hard and ran strong. And that was a special moment. Again, if you're
Yeah.
listening, I mean, I share it to challenge you, create opportunities for others, please, in whatever it is you're doing in life.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing. I mean, that's really what we do at GiGi's too.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. You know, we see an opportunity, and like you said, you had to teach him. You had to give him some guidance on how to do that. But you also believed in him. And you didn't just let him do whatever he wanted. You trusted, hey, he's capable. We're going to try to teach him how to do this and join everybody. So I love that. That's what we do. We just believe in our participants and challenge them all. I love
Yeah.
watching this video every
You gotta-
time.
if
Such
you're-
celebration.
Yeah, if you're just a Lancaster Connects listener, like, look, I love the time you give us, but 10x your Lancaster Connects experience, and this show is proof positive of that. You'll see these young adults, these kids, just having the time of their life, and it's happening in our backyard, and it's happening in our backyard for free for the families who need it most, who need hope. You've used that word multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's where we'll wrap up. Like, is that what powers you? Giving hope to families who feel like, man, we got this hand dealt to us. We have this for the rest of our lives with our child, with our niece, our nephew, our grandson, granddaughter, whoever. What is it that powers you in what you do, Alisha?
Yeah, I think hope is a good word to use. Yeah, it's just showing everybody there is hope and they're capable and we're going to be here. You know, what we'd say at GiGi's is we make a lifetime commitment to our families. So from birth through adults, we're here for you with programming along the way, with support, with hope. And just our one last motto that we use here is we say to be Generation G. And that is to be accepting, to be generous, and be kind. And so that's kind of what we want to share anytime we're sharing with, you know, the community. We just challenge everybody to be Generation G, because if you're accepting and you're generous and you're kind to a person with Down syndrome or a person with autism or a person that's different from you, the world just becomes a better place, you know, if we
Yep.
can challenge ourselves to do that.
Yeah. I said we'd look to wrap up, but I had another thought that popped into my mind, and then we'll wrap up with some of the other fundraisers do, and we'll get that page up. But you know, it dawns on me with the kind of support that you give.
Mm-hmm.
Do families, if they have to relocate and leave their Lancaster GiGi's family, have you ever known of, or maybe you know, have you been asked the question, like, if I move to this town, is there a GiGi's there? What's it like? Have you had any of that happen?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So we've had a few people that have moved here and they have gone to other GiGi's Playhouses, and they come here sometimes they come here specifically because they looked it up and they want to live near Gigi's Playhouse.
Yeah.
So that's one reason. And then we've also had families that have moved away and joined a Gigi's Playhouse in their new town, which is really exciting. And so I'd say if you do have loved ones or you live in another town or state or something, there are 59 across the US. So there might be one where you're going, or, even on vacation, a lot of our families will just go visit another Gigi's Playhouse because it is a second home for them. And it's cool that, they're not all exactly the same when you go to another one, but they all have similar elements. They all, should be warm and welcoming and colorful, and they all have a stage, and they have the couch for the families to connect on. So, definitely something that people that have a child with Down syndrome now, I've heard, have started to look when they're looking for homes, if they can move close to us, since we are the only one in PA. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me, that's a marker of a quality program, and more so tremendous volunteers like yourself, because that's just the proof in the pudding, right? When people say, no, I really don't want to relocate because I've got this gem here in our backyard. Or if I have to relocate and there's a choice, like it's a larger company, and it's a choice. I see we have New York and Indiana on the screen. So you can put me in Buffalo or Fort Wayne, but you can't put me in Wyoming. I don't think there's a Wyoming.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So to me, that's just the mark of a great program when people are making that a part of their decision. It's no different from a parent with a kid who's a football player who says, you know what, I want to move down south because I want my kid to go to Alabama and be in SEC territory for football, right? It's really no different in that regard, but it is entirely different in the outcome for that kid in that opportunity. So you all doing amazing work. I love seeing the faces on the screen. If you've been watching me, my eyes have been averted because it's nothing but smiles.
Yeah.
It smiles through struggle. It's smiles through opportunity. It's smiles through success. It's just smiling everywhere. Love it.
Well, you did say we do fun things, and that's definitely for sure. We make everything fun. And what's really cool is we keep getting, invited as more people hear about us. We keep getting invited to do fun things in the community. So like yesterday, we were invited to carry the flag on the Reading Fightin' Phil's baseball field for the Blue Ridge Family Fun Day, things like that. We could watch a baseball game together. Our dance team was invited to perform at 2 performances at E-Town College with their college students. Watching baseball games together. Just so many different things in the community that are being opened up and available to our families that maybe they wouldn't have had a chance to go to before. And so even today, like our Achievers program is for our adults. They were invited to Kinder Collections in Columbia. They're working on arts and crafts and some kind of activities out there.
Fantastic.
So just all different opportunities that are being given to us, which is just really exciting to see people believing in our participants and inviting them and showing how capable they are. Just their smiles show it all, really. I mean, they're enjoying Gigi's and they're enjoying life. So it's just a good reminder for us to do the same.
Yeah, love it. Love everything you're doing there. So, Alisha, I'm just going to wrap up. You have your golf outing in September each year, 321-day National Down Syndrome Day. Wear your crazy socks. So if you are somebody that would like to maybe donate a bunch of socks or pay for a bunch of fun socks, you could donate through their page. You do car washes throughout the year, bake sales throughout the year, bingo, gala. Everything is at gigisplayhouse.org/Lancaster. I have that right, correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I just want to make sure. Yeah, gigisplayhouse.org/Lancaster. Probably one of the best volunteer nonprofit sites that we've seen. You have everything laid out. Love it. Volunteer opportunities. Love it. Again, you don't necessarily have to be front facing to help the mission at GiGi's. If you're great at communications, you're great putting on an event, you're great organizing an event, you have a network that is looking to bring people in. and give these participants an incredible experience in your business or for your event to supplement, please do reach out. Alisha and her team, I'm sure, will be more than happy to try to accommodate when and where it makes sense for their participants.
Thank you
Alisha,
so
this has been
much.
fun.
Yes, it's been great. Thank you so much for the
Thank you.
opportunity.
Yeah. So we've talked an awful lot about GiGi's and all the great participants you got there. Let's talk about what drives you a little bit. Some fun things you like to do with our connection cocktail.
Okay.
As I said, these are the hard-hitting questions. So I'll ask you this. Have you been a Lancaster native all your life, or did you move here?
Yep. Nope. Born and raised here
Born
in
and raised.
Lancaster. Yep.
So this will be an easy one. What's the best part of Lancaster in the summer?
Ooh. First thing that comes to mind, really, Dutch Apple Dinner Theater. I love some good food and a good show. That would
Very
probably
good.
be one of my favorites.
All right. Like it.
Yeah.
And this week coming up, if you take a show in, you get out of the heat. So that's nice.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Second question. Did you have a New Year's resolution by chance? And have you kept it so far?
I don't know if it's really a New Year's resolution, but one thing I wanted to do this year was go to a country concert. So hopefully this summer or maybe even Fall Fest would be a good time for that. Haven't done it yet, but
so there's Freedom Fest at the Buck.
oh yes, I just saw that advertised. That could be
There's
fun.
Tyler Farr, I really enjoy his music.
Yep.
There's a few others. It's a good venue. It's 2 days, so you could go both days or one day.
Yeah.
Fall Fest is always great. We were there last year.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Here's
What?
something. You should reach out to WIOV, who puts on Fall Fest,
Yeah.
and say if there's a way for GiGi's Playhouse to sponsor a coffee truck,
Ooh, okay.
hot chocolate truck. Because my wife and I, we went last year.
Yeah.
And we froze, and no one had coffee or hot chocolate.
Oh no.
It's in October.
Yeah.
It's cold. Cool. I don't know. I'm just
Great
saying
idea.
that
Yeah.
you could make a ton of money that day.
All right. Sounds good. We'll have to look into
Fall
that.
Fest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Love the country music thing. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Beach or mountains?
Beach for sure.
Beach.
Yep.
Toes in the water, butt in the sand, as the song goes, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Alisha, thank you so much for being amazing. I don't know, we touched on it briefly, folks. Not only is Alisha a special education teacher, but then she's taking time out on top of a busy educator schedule and pouring into her passion for leadership for kids that need help. And she's here volunteering as programs coordinator at GiGi's Playhouse. I think that's special. Thank you, Alisha, for that. Our community thanks you. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you. Thanks for spotlighting us. Yeah. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. We'll be sure to get you all the replays and everything. And thanks for taking the time out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a fun show. I mean, I love this is why we do this show. Highlighting amazing people like Alisha, all the volunteers, not that it was just Alisha on the show, but I apologize. I forget the name of the lady I met at GiGi's Playhouse at the Northern Lancaster Chamber event that was had. But there's that person. There's all the people at a place like GiGi's Playhouse that do amazing work. And each one of them is kind of like that answer to what's the most important part in your car, right? They're all important, and they all have impact for all of those amazing participants that benefit from all the work and the programming that they do there. So thank you to everybody helping out those wonderful participants at GiGi's Playhouse. Very cool organization. So usually my business partner has a testimonial for you. I forgot to get one, but what I do know is Gardener's Mattress and More, where we broadcast Lancaster Connects from, recently passed the 500 review mark on Google. So we thank all of our customers for taking the time to give us reviews. We always appreciate them. So that's what I'll share there. My Sleep Better tip, we've long had our book Sleep Better, which is a book all about sleep habits and sleep routines. It's really a great thing to have literally kind of by your nightstand or maybe on your coffee table, and you use it to create and adapt better sleep routines. Our nation is sleep deprived and in a tremendous amount of sleep debt. Sleep debt's a real thing. Sleep debt's that thing that happens to you like when you go on a cross-country flight and you're jet lagged. That's sleep debt. That's what that feels like. We have that every night, largely as a nation, and it compounds. And so you can get a copy of that book, gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better, and we'll send you that for free. Okay. But if you know that and you've got a good routine and everything's great about your sleep hygiene and habits, and you're cutting out caffeine no later than 2 o'clock, and you're eliminating blue light devices hours before bed, and you have a wind down routine, just to name a few, but you just need help buying your next mattress. Well, we believe in information. Information is power. And so we have a whole little pocket guide series now, choosing the perfect mattress, the perfect sheets. Sheets have an amazing ability to affect the quality of your sleep. An adjustable bed base for people that have back pain and reflux and leg issues and circulation issues. These can help. And then the perfect pillow. The pillow is the only thing that supports the weight of your head. It's the only thing that supports your C vertebrae, your cervical vertebrae. And do this little exercise at home. If you take your pillow and you flip it over, just fold it over, you'll see it takes up 25% of the side of the bed that you sleep on. And so if you're just looking for helpful information to purchase those products, you can go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/guides, and you'll be able to read those right on your screen. There's a link there. You can click it and just read it. If you want a free copy of your preferred pocket guide, you can come into the store and grab one. So that's my Sleep Better tip. I have just loved this show. Thank you so much to Alisha and GiGi's Playhouse, and to the Northern Lancaster County Chamber of Commerce. They ran a fantastic event. That's the Ephrata and North folks. That's Denver, Reamstown, Reinholds, those folks that don't often get thought of as Lancaster. The Norlanco Chamber of Commerce ran a wonderful event, open to the community, open to business back last month, I believe it was in May, early May. And it was really incredible. And that's where I met GiGi. So it's what happens when the community comes together. And I can't say it enough, gigisplayhouse.org/Lancaster. Check out all the wonderful things that they are doing for their participants and their folks that need their programming. With that said, I think just let me check my notes. That's it. We'll see you next week on Lancaster Connects. Take care.